Hi everybody, and welcome back to Somatic Wise. I'm sitting here sort of in the shade in front of the San Joaquin Wildlife Preserve in Irvine, California. And this is the first video I've ever made and edited entirely on my phone. Do not expect anything spectacular, but I was really moved and inspired to see what the city of Irvine has done with this beautiful restored nature preserve. I'm gonna put up some images in a few minutes about the website where you can find out more information about it. It does seem to be a restoration site. Again, this is a quick video. There's lots of information online about it. I just came here for a walk before meeting up with a friend for her birthday. Happy birthday, Evie. And so I'm sitting here in my car trying not to get too sunburned and really inspired to share what I've seen today. So Irvine, California is not a wild city, rather the opposite. It's got John Wayne Airport, it's got industrial areas, it's kind of known as the land of HOAs, lots of lawns, and we know what lawns do to the natural environment in terms of water use, chemicals, fossil fuels, runoff, what have you. They really did this wildlife reserve right. I love it here. So we're going to look at some of the images that I shot and see what we can see, and maybe you'll be inspired to make a visit too. Alrighty, well here we are at the San Joaquin Wildlife Sanctuary in Irvine, California, and we'll be looking at some of the footage that I took out there on the trail today. As you can see, the city's right here. You can hear planes from the airport. There's some noise from the water treatment plant nearby, so this is definitely a human inhabited area. And look at all the biodiversity that's here. There is so much biodiversity here. And biodiversity is important because we are all dependent on the web of life. See, here's another combination of human intervention and a little stream that's running. This is obviously water that's managed by the Irvine Water Conservancy or department or whatever it's called. And again, here's another shot of some beautiful nature and some human intervention, and you see they can coexist. In the background there's just going to be a whole bunch of shots of just really some of the pretty things that I saw. This is the first of the ponds that I came on. You can see that it's pretty darn dry with just a little bit of water in there. The trail is really nice. It's really well maintained. There's the dry kind of crusty lake bed that hopefully will fill up with a little bit of precipitation this season. And there's lots of late season blooms out here. Just beautiful little flowers everywhere. And so where the plants are, the critters will come to inhabit them and to be with them. And here, I saw so many pelicans. This is obviously a very important site for transitory birds, for birds who live here year round. Again, so much biodiversity all over the place. So let's see, let's talk about, there's some of the well-maintained trails. It struck me that it's probably pretty accessible to people who use wheelchairs as well. Be your own best judge of that. You're the best judge of your needs. It's also pretty hot in the middle of the day. I got pretty hot. So be careful about what season you come. Precautions, sunscreen, hats. There's occasionally interpretive signs so that you can kind of know what you're seeing. And as you pan back here, here's one of the lakes or ponds that's filled with water, and there is an island in the middle of it, and there's a whole colony of pelicans out there. And the reason that's great is you can see them. Humans can feel like we can notice the other creatures and being not in contact with them, but in visual contact. But they've got enough buffer so that they're not too stressed out by us. And that is so important for them to survive. And you can see again the city of Irvine right back there. But the birds are totally taking advantage of this. And so is so much other wildlife that I did not manage to capture with my little iPhone camera here. I'm not the best photographer. I know some good photographers. I'm not one of them. Look at all this biodiversity. This is so cool. There's so many different species. I didn't even know which ones to, capture. So why do we have to combine cities and nature? First of all, there's an enormous, very reliable body of literature saying what positive effects it has on humans. Here's the trail, very nice to walk on, very well maintained. it is a really reliable body of literature that people's blood pressure goes down, all sorts of vital markers improve, behaviors improve, mood improves if we just have some contact with the natural world. So it helps people feel better. It's very restorative. Uh-oh. I'm in the parking lot here. Here's the Pelican Colony. You can see that it's surrounded by an island so that they are isolated from human contact, which is really good for them. Anyhow, huge positive self-regulation for humans in nature. There's peace, there's calm. Can you imagine how much less tension and strife there would be in cities if everybody had access to this? There's definitely a socioeconomic status and an equality of access component to this. I think we need this all over the place. Another reason that we need to combine cities and nature is because human development is expanding all over the place, and birds like this need places to go. All the creatures need places to go. So there's a really lovely little nature center with some information for kids, some naturalist stuff, a native plant garden. You can see again, just look at all the biodiversity in the shot. There's me, and then I'm going to flip the camera around, and there's little places in the ponds here where you can come to the edge of the water and see the beauty. But again, there's space between humans and the wildlife, which is really helpful for them in terms of their stress levels and their survival. As I mentioned before, we're all dependent on the web of life to survive. We need biodiversity. We need the incredibly complex, beautiful sequence of interactions. There's some mugwort. Mugwort's a really cool plant. We need this in order to survive. It's in our best interest, and who wants to live on a planet anyway without birds, without other creatures, without this beautiful, there's some pollinator stuff. There's so many beautiful little blossoms there. Even though it's early September, it's hot as heck out here, there's still some that are surviving. So the insects come, the pollinators come, and everything else that feeds on them come. Restoration works. We just have to not all be so greedy so that we take all of the most desirable land in California. We have developed or otherwise demolished over 95% of the coastal wetlands. Look at that. The fungal growth comes back too. There's some of those beautiful pelicans. They are just so cool to watch from a respectful distance. Restoration works if we work it. We must set aside more places like this all over the place. Cities must become a repository for wildlife. And again, as I headed back towards my car in the heat of the day, I just wanted to stop and stay out there. Perhaps a trip back later in the autumn or in the winter would be good. So many beautiful little blossoms. There's this well-maintained trail. Congratulations, City of Irvine. I know I'm a little late to the party. I'm not usually in Irvine, but I saw it pop up in my feed this morning, and I just thought that I would come and check it out. There's so much beauty down here. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for watching Somatic Wise. Take care, and remember to do what lights you up inside. Okay, so guess what? I found just a little more piece of wetlands just around the corner. So here it comes, just a little extra beauty for all of us to enjoy. Here you go. You can see more wetlands over here and more birds taking refuge. Yeah, there's just a lot to this park. I'm so happy to be here. So again, just to sum up, well, I'm taking in this extra little bit of wetlands near the city that I was happy enough to discover. The reason that we humans must integrate nature in our cities, well, there's a whole bunch of reasons. It's super good for humans, it's good for our health, it's good for getting along. There's a known effect that we all get along better when we're in nature. It helps our self-regulation, it helps our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. We are unfortunately expanding development of all sorts of wild places, and so wildlife has got to have a place to go. It's one of the most reliable resources that people have when they come into my office and I work with them. What lights them up inside? Animals, forest, ocean, nature, pets, things like that. We must preserve space for them, and as you see right here, we definitely can coexist. We can share space if we just aren't so greedy and take it all. Also because it's vital in preserving the web of life upon which all of us depend for survival. Sometimes, you know, we humans spend so much time in our brains and in our computers and our machines that we forget about the series of intricate, indescribably intricate biochemical interactions that we have with the planet every day. And that's how come we can live. That's how come I can draw a breath right now. That's how come my metabolism's running, because of the food that I ate. That's how come the temperature is somewhat regulated. These plants and trees are so good at cooling and storing carbon and regulating temperature. And this is just a glorious thing to see. Look at that. Look at that right there. Hello. Notice how I'm at a respectful distance. Someday I will get a better zoom lens for this phone. Remember, if you come out here, hats, check the temperature, keep your own physical capacity in mind. Water, lots of water. Don't overstrain yourself. Know your own capacity. Best to go with people if you can. Again, thank you for watching Somatic Wise. Be good to yourself and see you next time. Thank you for watching this video. If you would like to support my work of getting this information out into the world, you could subscribe to receive notification of future videos. You could contribute to my Patreon account to support this channel, and of course, please feel free to share this video with others. Take care. Until next time, be well.